I get people reaching out to me fairly frequently asking about investment properties in the Bozeman area. That's when we'll go deep on the numbers and start talking about, what the best available properties are out there for them. It's all going to be fairly dependent upon each person's situation, but there are definitely some great opportunities out here. So today what we're going to do is we're going to dive in. I'm going to show you a variety of different properties, from homes with an ADU to a multiplex to a duplex, all over the Bozeman area, with a couple over in Belgrade. We're also going to discuss a little bit why it can be kind of difficult to find the right property, or perhaps a property with the right kind of return investment that you're looking for. But they do exist, they are out there. So let's go ahead and talk through all of it. Hey, my name is Hallie with Life in Bozeman, Montana. This channel is all about living in and around Bozeman and all over Southwest Montana. So first and foremost, let's talk a little bit more about Bozeman and why investors are looking here. And then we'll talk about some of those properties that are currently on the market. So Bozeman, with the outdoor lifestyle, Montana State University, the views all around me here, and everything that this whole area has to offer has gotten quite a bit of attention in the last few years. Lots of people have been moving here from all over larger cities, other states, for a variety of different reasons. But as work from home or remote work has become more accessible, people definitely seem to want to leave that larger city lifestyle and trade it in for a little bit more small town life here in the mountains. So all of that being said, Bozeman has definitely seen quite a bit of growth in the last few years. To say that property owners here have seen some appreciation in the last few years would be an understatement. And with that, investors have also taken notice. There's been more and more multifamily style construction happening all over this area, new units popping up all the time. And really, there's just been quite a lot of construction or new construction homes all over the valley. And if you'd like to learn more about Bozeman overall, I've got several other videos, from vlog tours near campus to the west side of Bozeman, pros and cons, why not to move here, why people love Bozeman, and so much more. So be sure to check those out as well. One main reason people love to invest in Bozeman is the strong rental market between Montana State University and the tourist destination that it's become, between Big Sky Resort and Bridger Bowl and all of the summer events and everything going on here. There's still a great demand for rentals, both long and short term. However, something really important to keep in mind if you are an investor is that Type 3 short-term rentals as of December 2023 are no longer permitted in city limits. Now, some of those that were already permitted in prior to December of 2023, those are able to remain under a legacy status. Now, what Type 3 means is that is the rental of an entire home that is not owner occupied at all and is rented out short term. Type 1 short term rentals is the rental of a one or more bedrooms with the host occupying the home throughout the rental. Type 2 is where the host is not occupying the home during the time of rental. 2A is where the home is the host's primary residence, meaning that they are just not occupying it during the time that it's being rented, and there is a certain percentage of time that that's allowed to happen. And Type 2B is where it's an ADU, or an accessory dwelling unit that's attached to the home but separate from the primary residence. You can learn more about how to acquire a permit and some of the requirements that are in place all online at bozeman.net. But it is really important to know that there are some restrictions in place. Now, these restrictions were put in place to bolster the availability of longer term rentals, which were in high demand at one time. Now, it does seem that the long-term rental market has cooled at least a little bit, with more on the market, more availability at this time than there was previously. But still, rentals are highly sought after here. So I can't really draw any conclusions specifically about whether or not those restrictions have made much of a difference. Outside of city limits, of course, things are a bit looser. It's going to depend more highly on zoning, covenants, restrictions, that sort of thing. So it's really important that you do your due diligence if you are in the market shopping for something that you can rent out short term. So much like buying a primary residence, and maybe even more so, there are so many considerations that go into finding the right property for investment, whether you plan to rent it for short term or long term. First of all, it is fairly common that folks that are searching for something for an investment are looking for something that will cash flow. Of course, meaning that the income from the property will exceed the expenses or payment. Some will have priorities that are more about, investing some cash in a property or are more focused on the appreciation. But either way, if there's a mortgage involved, if there's a lender involved, if there's an interest rate involved, more often than not, those folks are looking to at least break even. And of course, in regards to what those payments are going to look like, two major contributing factors are interest rate and down payment. So those are going to be very variable items. So it's going to be really important to talk to a lender. And as you're looking at properties, running numbers, working closely with that lender to find the best possible option for you. And again, doing your due diligence on the property itself is going to be super important. Some neighborhoods prefer not to have rentals at all. So even if you're looking at long term, you may run into covenants that try to restrict that. Of course, when you're looking at purchasing a multifamily property, oftentimes those neighborhoods are going to fully expect rentals to be present. Now, one thing that can be really beneficial that not everybody thinks about is as you're looking at properties, if you're looking to also occupy the property, taking a look at duplexes or a home with an ADU, that sort of thing, and considering as you're looking at your loan, as you're looking at your finances, the fact that you can apply the rental income from the other side of the duplex to that qualification for the loan can make a difference. You might be able to afford more. Maybe you're able to use the rent over there to pay for, half of your mortgage, maybe even more than half of your mortgage. So it's a really great way to get into a property and be able to afford a little bit more than you might expect. So if that's something you're interested in doing, definitely get in touch with your favorite lender or reach out and I'd be happy to connect you with someone as well. I cannot stress enough how important it is to find the right lender to help you get in the right property dependent upon your situation, no matter what you're investing in. Of course, as an investor, there's always an opportunity for a 1031 exchange as well. And Bozeman has some absolutely beautiful properties that can qualify for that. So be sure to reach out if that's something you're looking to do. Also, some folks do choose to look to Belgrade, just 10 miles down the interstate and often more affordable than Bozeman. Sometimes you can get those properties to cash flow a little easier. Known as a bedroom community to Bozeman, there's been a lot of new construction in Belgrade as well. And it still retains that small town vibe that Bozeman maybe doesn't quite have so much these days, with a population of only 13,000 in Belgrade and over 50,000 in Bozeman. So with all of that, let's go check out some of those properties. I'm going to be focusing mostly on multi-family style properties as well as homes with ADUs that would make incredible investment properties as well, depending on what you're looking for. So do keep that in mind. But it is worth mentioning that there are plenty of single family homes in the area that would make wonderful investment properties as well that may also be worth considering depending on the type of investment you're looking at. Now, before we do that, as I said, my name is Hallie. I'm a born and raised Bozemanite, helping people to move, relocate, and simply find their place here in the Bozeman area and all over Southwest Montana, from Big Sky to Helena to Three Forks to Livingston and everywhere in between. My email and phone number are right here, or of course you can check out the link in the description for a little bit more information or to get in touch that way. And either way, we can set up a one-on-one call. I'm here to help you find the right place for you. I certainly wouldn't want you ending up in the wrong spot. So jot that information down and feel free to get in touch. And if you haven't yet subscribed, I've got a new video every single week. So if you want the best videos all about living here in and around the Bozeman area, subscribe. So this property is quite the unique one. Just 3 doors down from the, edge of Montana State University campus. This one behind me here is currently listed at $2 million and it has 8 units. They're all either studios or 1-bed, 1-bath style apartments, and they're all rented on average about $1,000 a month. This prime location, though, is what really brings the value, being so close to downtown as well as MSU. It's a historical building as well, built in 1939 with some really cool historical touches and some updates throughout. The building total is 4,106 square feet, and as I said before, listed at $2 million. So we're going to go ahead and drive around this neighborhood a little bit, give you a feel for the area that it's in, even though it is close to College Avenue, which is a busier street, and there's an elementary school right in front of me here as well. Even with all of that going on, it's still a pretty quiet area. Lots of businesses and dining just down the road here as well. So let's go drive around and check some of it out. I'll see you at the next one. Now, this next property is actually just around the corner from the last one, that older historical with the 8 smaller units. Now, this is going to be quite a bit newer. This building was actually built or finished in 2024. It has 5 units in it. It's currently listed at $4.3 million. There's one studio that's about 430 square feet, and then there are 2 2-bed, 2-bath units at 1,650 square feet, and then a 3-bed, 2-bath that is 2,162 square feet. Again, prime location right by MSU. In fact, the infamous Pickle Barrel sandwich shop that is right off of campus there is just around the corner here on the other side of this block as well. And that elementary school that I mentioned previously is actually right in front of me here and now behind me. So as you can see, it's in a really lovely location. You're also just, blocks from the downtown area. Brand new, beautiful building here amongst it all. So another great investment opportunity. Again, depending upon if the numbers are going to make sense for you, depending on, what your financial situation is, what you're looking to do with it. Absolutely beautiful, brand new build. So let's go drive around this area a little bit more, and I'll see you at the next one. Now, this next property is over on the south or southeast side of campus. So just a few blocks to my left here, you can head over there and get to campus as well. So this one is also on the south side of town in an older historic neighborhood. However, this is a brand new build. This property was finished in 2023, and it's actually a home with an apartment, as you can see right behind me here. So the home itself is a 4-bed, 3.5 bath, and the apartment is a 1-bed, 1-bath. In total, it's 3,232 square feet, and it's currently listed at $2.2 million. So as you can imagine, this offers a great opportunity to live in one of the units, rent out the other, have that help pay your mortgage or whatever situation you might be in. Also, it presents a great opportunity for college renters, of course, being so close to campus. So let's go drive around this beautiful historic neighborhood, and I'll see you at the next one. So this is probably not the first time I've said this today, but this next property is also quite unique. Most duplexes, in a lot of areas are going to be, both sides, 3-bed, 2-bath, that sort of style, maybe a triplex, same kind of style as well. And we are certainly going to be looking at a couple properties that are similar to that. But this one is actually a 5-bed, 3-bath on each side of the duplex. So each side is 2,726 square feet, spacious, 2 levels with a fully finished basement over here on the north side of town. Now, this property was built in 2001, and it's currently listed at $1.299. So just under 1.3 million is this lovely duplex right behind me here. Now, it is right off of a somewhat major thoroughfare here on the north side of town called Durston Road. So there's going to be a little bit more traffic here, but it's super centrally located. Lots of dining down 19th that way, just a few blocks out. And then, of course, just maybe 5 or so minutes to downtown. So let's go drive around this neighborhood a little bit more, give you a better feel of that, and then I'll see you at the next one. This next property is a home with an apartment. So it's more of a single family home style in a really lovely, highly coveted neighborhood here on the north side of Bozeman. So this one, the main larger home is a 3-bed, 2.5 bath with 2,587 square feet. And the ADU, or the 1-bed, 1-bath apartment in this one, is 668 square feet. Now this one was built in 2018. I do know that this particular neighborhood does not allow any short-term rentals, but this whole property is currently listed at $1.6 million. Lovely, quiet neighborhood with lots of new builds all around, lots of kids running around, and there's parks not far away either. So let's go drive around this whole area and check it out some more. Speaking of new construction, I'm out here in Belgrade on the northwest end of town, and these townhomes that are being built currently behind me here are also up for sale. They are brand new construction, 3-bed, 2.5 bath, lovely duplex style townhomes. They're wonderful, modern style finishes and beautiful properties on the inside. In fact, we're going to be able to take a quick peek inside as well. Now, these are a little bit different in some ways in that you can buy one side or the other side, or you can buy the whole building. So since they are technically townhomes, they are not considered multifamily. So each side of it is going to be a separate loan or a separate transaction. Another great thing about these properties and townhomes as well is that this neighborhood does allow for short-term rentals. So you could live in one side, rent out the other, you could buy a couple of them. There's tons of different options here, and they are a little bit more affordable than a lot of the newer construction in Bozeman. So each side of the property down here that is currently still under construction is listed at $520,000 per side. Now, if you wanted to purchase the whole thing, there's always a great opportunity to get a better price instead of that $520,000 per door. So let's go do a quick tour inside of one of the completed units, and then we'll drive around this neighborhood, and I'll see you at the next one. This last property we're taking a look at today is a fourplex that was built in 2021 right here, also on the northwest side of Belgrade. This one has all 4 units that are 3-bed, 2.5 bath. Now, the interior units are each 1,500 square feet, whereas the exterior end units are going to be over 1,600 square feet. So it's a little bit unique in that sense. But the way that the property is laid out and set up, you don't really notice a major difference other than maybe some of the natural natural light that the end units can bring in that the interior units don't quite have as many windows, with the interior units not having quite as many windows, that sort of thing. The whole fourplex here is currently listed at $1,595,000. So it's a great opportunity to get more units at a lower price per door. Now the backyards are a little bit small, but the views out that direction are beautiful. And of course, from upstairs looking towards the Bridgers, the views are wonderful as well. And these are currently pulling in rents of around $1,900 a month per unit, but I think that's a little bit low what the current market states. So let's go do a quick drive around this neighborhood as well. So with all of that, if you're curious about Bozeman or Belgrade, be sure to check out my videos of each. I've got lots of information and I'm always updating and putting out new videos as well. And if you want to watch more right now, this is a playlist loaded with all of the best videos all about living in and around Bozeman. And until next time, I hope to show you around town.